Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, October 24th, 2024. I'd like to invite Reverend Terry Arnold with the Pentecostals of East Ridge to come forward, provide our invocation, and lead us in our pledge, if everyone will stand.
Let's all bow our heads. Lord Jesus, we're thankful tonight for your many blessings. We're thankful, Lord, for our leaders tonight who will meet tonight to take care of the business of our city and community. And Lord, we ask you to bless them tonight and lead and guide their minds and their hearts. And Lord, I thank you for your blessings upon our city and all those that are serving. For our fire department and our police, we're thankful for their service, Lord, and all the first responders. Thank you, Lord, for giving us a good day and a beautiful weather. And we give you praise for everything today, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Here. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
All right, the first item on the agenda is our consent agenda. It is the approval of the minutes for October 10th, 2024 council meeting and approval of the August 2024 financial report. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review that, and I will entertain a motion.
Approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion or corrections? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Consent agenda approved. We'll move to the next item, is communications from citizen. This is an opportunity for any citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. Don't believe anybody signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience, now is your opportunity, and you'll have 5 minutes. I don't see anyone, so we'll move on to the next item, communication from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle.
I don't have anything tonight, thank you.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Nothing at this time.
Councilmember Witt.
Nothing.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yeah, I would like to announce the 11th Annual Optimist Club Boo-BQ. It's coming up next Saturday, November 2nd. Not this one, but next one. It's going to be located at 1517 Thomas Avenue, right outside of City Hall. You can pre-order your barbecue online at eastridgeoptimistclub.org. And if you pre-order online, you can pick up your meal on Saturday, November 2nd between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. All proceeds support the youth of our community and programming for the Optimist Club throughout the year.
Thank you, sir. All right. I have a few things. So first of all, I'd like to thank everyone that came out for National Night Out this past Monday. Thank the police and fire department for being here and working, and all the volunteers. I think it was very successful. We had a lot of participation, a lot of good food and conversation. So I think it was very good. We appreciate that. Then upcoming with the library, we have several things going on in the library and Parks and Recs as usual. So teen movie night will be tomorrow night at 6 p.m. It will be a spooky Halloween theme. Food will be provided. Then on Saturday the 26th from 11 a.m. to 12 is Learn How to Draw and Write graphic novels. Then Cooking the Books with a Halloween caricature is Monday the 28th at 6 p.m. All three of those, you need to register for those, and you can call 423-867-7323 for that. Then on the 29th, Tuesday, from 3:30 to 5:30, there'll be a drive-through trick-or-treat there at the library. Dress up in the costume and come by the library and see the librarians, and then they'll be passing out candy. They will be taking donations up until Monday at 2 p.m. for that trick-or-treat drive-through. Then Parks and Recs, now is the time for indoor events. So indoor soccer signups is October the 5th through the 27th. It'll be age groups 6 through 19, also adults under and over 30. Then youth basketball registration is the 7th of October to the 17th, and there'll be co-ed 5 and 6, and then boys 7 and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, and girls 7, 8, similar, up to 11 to 13. 75 per player, or you can bring your own team for $210. And then on the 25th, Crafty Cauldron, a Halloween bash, that will be at the arena, and there'll be costumes, and there'll be beautiful Halloween crafts. Christmas parade's going to be November the 23rd, 6:30. Lineup starts at 3:30. I believe we have a very large parade again this year. I think it's larger every year. Community Thanksgiving is going to be Tuesday, November the 26th. Start serving at 4:30, and the last meal will be served at 7:30. They're also taking volunteers to help with that. Election Day is November 5th. Get out and vote. Early voting has already started and will run through the 31st. And then last I have is we've had a great article that was written by Business View Magazine. It's been shared on the city's website, on social media, several pages talking about crafting a thriving community through strategic development. So it's a great article. So you get a chance, go and read that. But we're very, very tickled to have that done for us. And I think that's all that I have. So I will pass it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple items. Give you a brief update on the Moore and McBrien bridges. Hope we can see this come to completion very soon. This is from Jeff Blevins, who's the project manager for this big endeavor up there. They had a progress meeting earlier this week. Wright Brothers is working to get both these bridges open by the end of the calendar year. And we also want to let you know that Wright Brothers will have westbound I-24 down to 2 lanes from 9 p.m. Friday, November 9th until 6 a.m. Tuesday, November 12th. Those 3 days. The lane closure will allow the contract and it's necessary to rebuild the pavement under the Belvoir Bridge. That's why they're going down to only 2 lanes. So bear with the wait. Anyway, that takes care of Moore. The other one I wanted to mention, the multi-purpose pavilion, or what we know as Town Center. And we'll have to say that we're going to have to come up with a name for that. So we've got 6 months or 8 months through the construction period, the 360 days to have this facility completed. 12,000 square foot facility will be built out behind City Hall and the community center. We met on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, with the contractors, Pillar Construction. They're looking to commence construction the week of November 4th. And that all depends on their approval and the receipt of their land disturbance permit from TDEC. I know they had a meeting the other day and they're just waiting back word from them. They're anxious to get started, so once we have a firm date, we'll put that out and let you know. But that's an exciting project. 360 days from the date of start, those should be completed. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thanks, sir. All right, we'll move on into old business. Item A, ordinance number 1205.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend ordinance 1028, which amended the East Ridge zoning ordinance number 481 by adding an additional section thereto, being section 111 of Article 6 supplemental regulations and exceptions in the East Ridge zoning ordinance, and amending the number of days for compliance with this ordinance.
Thank you, sir. And this will be the second and final reading. Yes, sir. Mr. Howell.
Yes, just Mayor and Council, just to recap this, Planning Commission did review the proposed changes that City Council set forth and did approve all of them, and recommended remove to City Council for approval.
Thank you, sir. And yes, this did get approved on first reading. So, council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1205.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1205.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
So my only question is so the 90-day and the 2-year timeframes within this go into effect today.
Once passed, yes.
If
Effective
passed.
immediately. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I had.
Anyone else? So then roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1205 approved, second and final reading. We'll move to item B, ordinance number 1210.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 4012 Bennett Road, tax map number 168L-L-009, from R1 Residential District to C5 Neighborhood Commercial District.
Thank you, sir, and this also is be second and final reading. Yes, sir, Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this was approved during the last reading with two stipulations being placed on it, two conditions. The permitted use of this structure would be used as office space only, and a 6-foot-high privacy fence will be erected on the site adjacent to the residential property to the west.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1205.
Make a motion to approve ordinance,
1210, I said that wrong.
sorry.
I said that
Yeah.
wrong too, I think. Thank you.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve ordinance 1210 by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1210 passed second and final reading. We'll move to new business, item A, ordinance number 1211.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend East Ridge Municipal Code, Title 20, Chapter 2, which chapter is known as the East Ridge Air Pollution Control Ordinance, by removing affirmative defense provisions, providing for incorporation by reference of the most current of various federal regulations, and providing for certain housekeeping provisions.
Thank you, sir. This will be first reading, and Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We have been notified by the Chattanooga-Hamilton County Air Pollution Control Bureau. They have several small revisions to the county's air pollution ordinance that the Bureau needs to get approval on from all the cities and the county. Primary purpose is to remove affirmative defense provisions that apply to excess emissions during periods of startup, shutdown, and malfunction, as directed by the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Other revisions concern the lowering of a national ambient air quality standard and the incorporation by reference of the most current of various federal regulations. The listing behind my agenda memorandum pretty well outlines what specifically those changes are. Not too much that we can to do with this, since this is under bringing everything into compliance with United States EPA rules and regulations.
Thank you, sir. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1211.
I make a motion to approve ordinance number 1211.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? I don't see a public hearing on here. Is that going to be at second?
Are we doing a public hearing on the second?
Did a public hearing, the Air Pollution Bureau already did a public hearing.
That's right. I'm sorry. Thank you.
So we're good.
We're good.
All right. Any questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1211 passed, first reading. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3608.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving the update of a services agreement with Verizon Wireless for cellular phone service to the Tennessee Department of General Services statewide contract listing number R811-64345 pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated 12-3, 1201B.
Thank you, sir. Ms.
Yes,
Qualls?
this is to update the contract as there's a slight increase in the phones. It's not very much, but it'll allow us to also be able to trade up on and get better plans.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3608.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3608.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Whit. Do we have any discussion?
There's one discrepancy here. I see, the memorandum she sent in, it says, $86 to $115, and, over here it's gonna be $85 to $115, so it's gonna be the 85, the low end.
The resolution has 85 to 115. The memorandum says 86 to 115.
Typo?
85.
85.
Okay.
Okay, that's better. So the resolution's correct. Good catch. Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3608 passed. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3609.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving an agreement with Park Ridge Medical Center to serve as a mental health services provider for City of East Ridge first responders and to approve the donation of $7,000 from Oak Bridge Insurance to cover the costs for the first year of services.
Thank you, sir. Chief Hustleton?
Yes, we're requesting to enter into a contract with Park Ridge Medical Center to utilize the services of a social worker who specializes in trauma experience with policemen and firemen. Services will be limited to 2 hours per week, and Oak Bridge Insurance has committed to cover $7,000 for this service.
Thank you, sir. You concur? All right. Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3609.
Approve resolution number 3609.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? I do have one question. So it's 2 hours per week. Does that mean they accumulate if you don't use those hours each week, or are
Our
they?
plan is to limit it to 2 hours. We're initially going to bring our social worker psychologist in. We're going to do some basic, almost immunization, teaching the officers and the firemen how to deal with
Perfect.
those traumas first. So yeah, we're capping it at 2 hours per week.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right. If no other questions, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3609 approved. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3610.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager or his designee to have guardrails replaced at 4 locations by Tennessee Guardrail, Inc. through the 2024 TDOT Guardrail Maintenance Contract number CNY089.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Vaughn.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is for various different locations in East Ridge from over, I guess, the past few years that have been in, I guess, several car wrecks where they've messed them up. So I finally got a hold in the last 6 months of Tennessee Guardrails, which is licensed through the state of Tennessee, and on the contract to replace them, to replace the broken and tore up places.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Council, I will entertain a motion for resolution number 3610.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3610.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Whit. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3610 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3611.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Waste Connections of Tennessee, DBA City Waste LLC, for solid waste disposal transfer stations services.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. We went out for requests for proposals for disposal services of the city's solid waste. We received 3 proposals, the low one being from Waste Connections doing business, refer to as City Waste, $43.75 per ton. BFI, or doing business as Republic Services at $53 per ton, and then Capital Waste Services at $55 per ton. We are right now at $33.91 per ton. We are with Capital Waste Services. They're looking at bumping us up to 55, so that's the reason why we went out for RFPs. I received, we sat down and had a meeting with them about a week and a half ago. I submitted the contract that we've been utilizing for the past 10 years in regard to providing solid waste disposal services at their transfer stations. I received a mocked-up draft yesterday after 4 o'clock, and unfortunately, there were amendments and additional language put in that contract, which, ladies and gentlemen, I can't live with. And I told them that there's no way that the city can agree. You know, if you breach one issue of the contract, which would be, let's say, for example, a dump that's made at the transfer station, and when the truck dumps it out on the floor, and there's some bushes or some construction materials in there, they have a right to terminate the entire contract. Now, in talking to them, they say, well, we're not going to do that. I said, that's fine, but the language in the contract, that's what the language says. We can't live with that. So we've got a meeting established next Tuesday to go over these points. I know hopefully we can take care of them. But right now, I would like to just have this tabled, would be the way to say it.
If they want to
Until-
table it, or that they want to pass it to the next one, do we think we'll have a resolution in, well, I guess it's really,
Well,
we'll have a fifth, do we have a fifth Thursday next week?
no, this will not make it, so we'll be on the
That's 3 weeks.
November 14th meeting. So we should have time to get this thing haggled out, but I'm sorry, I thought everything looked good until I got to about 5 sections of the contract out of 20 sections, and it's just got language in there that's more pro them than it is pro us. And I've got to lighten that language up for our sake. That's the reason why I'm asking to hold off on this.
Okay, so you feel that 3 weeks will give you adequate time to work through that, and then we can just pass that and move it to the tentative agenda
Yes, sir.
for the November 14th?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Council, I'll entertain a motion to have this passed to the November 14th council meeting.
Pass this to the November 14th meeting.
Second.
Have a motion to pass by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do you have any discussion?
I got one.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Miller, are you going to address all of your discrepancies that you've got in that? You know, like the days that if they decide to close, then we have to hunt somewhere else other than the 9 holidays?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions?
No, just want to thank Mr. Miller for his diligence on this and his advocacy for the citizens of East Ridge. Great work. Appreciate it.
Anyone else? Send in roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3611 has been passed to November 14th. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3612.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager or his designee to open a checking account at First Bank in which to deposit federal forfeiture funds.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Claus?
Yes, and we need approval to open a new account because the federal forfeiture funds need to be kept separate. They cannot commingle. So we will also open up a fund specifically for that. And this falls under the guidelines of the federal government because it's money coming from the Department of Justice, U.S. Marshal Service, different areas, and has to do with seizures.
Thank you, ma'am. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3612.
Number 3612.
Second.
A motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Whitt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3612 approved. We'll move to item G, resolution number 3613.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager or his designee to have the heat exchanger and the air unit at the East Ridge Community Center replaced.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir, I'll handle this. If I can recall, we had the HVAC system replaced over to Community Center back in 17 or 18 when I was here the first time. At this time, the heat exchanger has gone out. It needs replaced. And the cost of that's $12,479 from Trane, since this is a Trane unit. That's what we're asking for, your approval tonight. Just an FYI, a unit to replace the whole unit this time would be upwards to $35,000 to $40,000. When we do the expansion of the community center, we will be installing another HVAC unit, 20-ton unit, in addition to this for the system. This one, however, is on us. The new one that we put in for the expansion will be under the grant. So just wanted clarification on that. But we need to get this thing done. There's really no real hurry on it. Well, there is kind of a hurry because we're coming into the winter season, and getting that heat exchanger replaced at this cost will at least give us heat.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3613.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3613.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussions?
I had one, but he answered it there when he said we was gonna add another one, because I was gonna ask if this exchanger was gonna be big enough to carry the addition,
No,
so.
no. We'll have two 20-ton units, the one we
Okay.
have now and the new one for the expansion. Yes, sir.
That'll be good. A question I have is, do you have an anticipated starting completion on this? Is it something they'll be able to get quickly?
Yes.
Good.
I'm hoping within the next week or so.
Awesome. All right, no other questions. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3613 approved. We will move to item H, resolution number 3614.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving a settlement agreement relative to the lawsuit filed by Tennessee One Properties LLC against the city of East Ridge, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Litchford?
Yeah, this comes to this body, the genesis of this is in the Housing Commission, dating back, I think, almost back 2 years, close to 2 years. There was a citation with respect to this property, 5729 State Line Road, where the property owner had gone and gotten a contractor to start some work. We'll say he had a dispute of some nature. We have some ideas of what that was about. But in any event, the property stayed essentially dormant for over a year. Code enforcement went out, properly found that it was in non-compliance. The Housing Commission gave the property owner numerous opportunities, rightfully, they did a great job to give numerous opportunities to allow the property owner. He showed up one time, there was discussion with a contractor that showed up, there was a dispute with that contractor, there was some back and forth. Finally, in March of this year, the Housing Commission determined that the property still suffered from dilapidated conditions, the property owner failed to bring it into compliance, that the property value relative to the originally submitted contractor exceeded 50%. Although the property owner came back and tried to suggest there was one that was less than 50%, the Housing Commission said, well, he's not here to, there was lots of questions, it was very vague. So the Housing Commission moved to demolish the property, the structure on the property. The property owner filed a lawsuit, and there was a hearing on this. And the judge, very good judge, in the course of this, kind of stopped the parties once sworn testimony had gone through, and looked at the parties and said, guys, there is testimony that at least the property is salvageable. She is aware of the 50% rule, but she was taking it under advisement and said to the parties, guys, just letting you know that I'd like to see you all try to work this out. So I always, we're going to listen to the judges, and in this case, in talking with the property owner, I think I'm going to acknowledge or be willing to acknowledge sort of a wake-up call for the property owner. There was not a lot of sympathy that I detected from the court based upon the conduct. Having said that, the court made it clear she did find some salvageable conditions at this property. And so what we have structured with the property owner's attorney is a 8-week period for the property owner to bring it into full compliance. I did have Mr. Howell go out and meet with the property owner, and Mr. Howell, very objective, said, okay, it is salvageable, but it's something that you will do. We will come back to inspect even when you believe that you finished. They put together a schedule. It's attached in your packet. And so that's all to say the arrangement is, if you agree to this, it does not dismiss the case. We're prepared to move forward and defend it, but it gives we're listening to the court. We're giving the property owner a chance to bring it in full compliance, and that would also include a subsequent follow-up inspection by code enforcement and our chief building official, Mike Howell, for 8 weeks effective upon the effectiveness of this agreement. Should the property owner fail, then there's a $50 per day liquidated damages provision in there, and I am not foreclosed from going back to the court to request really for the court to mandate demolition pursuant to the Housing Commission. One thing that was clear is that the court found that the Housing Commission's actions were proper. She acknowledged that the gentleman got his due process. He failed to appear. The commission took it and did proper due diligence and gave due process. But she has a different role than the Housing Commission. Hers is to seek equitable resolution. And right or wrong, I think her position is, does she really want to oversee demolition versus a structure that could be repaired? And I think that's the direction of the court. But she was clear that the commission did its job and did it well. This body, if it's voting, is not voting one way or another as to what the commission's findings. I think we all believe they did a great job. This is more of, the court's giving guidance here, and if we're going to listen to the courts, we can move forward with the settlement, which gives the property owner 8 weeks. If you do not want to accept it, then we'll go forward with the continuation and completion of the hearing, and the court could rule that ultimately, no, it won't be demolished, in which case it won't be, and we don't have a settlement. Or she says, okay, it's going to be approved for demolition. So this is a way to sort of hedge ourselves to accept a possible 8-week period to approve it. If it doesn't get done, there's a liquidated damages, which the court does not have the authority to impose. He's agreeing to it, the property owner is agreeing, and we're not foreclosed from coming after the demolition should he fail to bring the property into compliance after Mr. Howell has done the inspection.
Thank you, sir. I concur that I commend the Housing Commission for the diligence of trying to get this property back in compliance, and I think this will provide that, even though it's taken this to get there. So, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3614.
Make a motion to approve resolution number 3614.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir. I found this Excel Electric Company thing here in the back. And as of today, this gentleman says it's going to cost $23,000 to repair this house. So we've been in discussions about this house for how many years now? 2? We all know prices went up, so evidently the house didn't cost much to repair back 2 years ago. So I'm just wondering if this is labor cost or labor and parts.
And we confirmed this is all labor, parts, materials for the full renovation of it. But again, keep in mind, when they do this, if Mr. Howell goes back out there, Mr. Howell is entitled to inspect everything. If he should find other items that are in non-compliance, they wouldn't be covered right now, but they are required to bring those into compliance as well. So this is what has been prepared pursuant to the, is it notice of citation or citation of repair, I think is what we call it, yeah. There was a notice of repair that went out about 2 years ago. That's what this is to repair. But if Mr. Howell finds more violations when he goes back out, they will be required to bring those up to code compliance as well.
Okay, and another thing is, over here it says 8 weeks, and then over here it says 56 days, and then the $50 start on the 57th day. Okay, so we're giving him 8 weeks. Then if he don't get finished in 8 weeks to move in or to get a compliance letter, then he starts paying us $50 a day. So how many days are we going to give him after these 8 weeks? Another year? Another 8 weeks? Or,
I intend to coordinate with the building official on this, who is actively involved, who I think will have a reasonable understanding as we approach the 8th week where the property owner is. And to the extent there's not compliance, we can seek the $50 per day. The question will be if it's substantial non-compliance, I'll listen to our building official. I'll file a motion with the court effective immediately that we want a hearing to continue the demolition process. The building official will be called to testify, and so I'm trying to balance. The question will be asked at that subsequent trial, if we have that. Mr. Howell, what's your position as to the relative conditions and completion of the project from what we understand he's required to do? If Mr. Howell is in a position and can substantiate that 0 to no work has been performed or very little, then I think the judge will say, we're going to demo it. If Mr. Howell comes in and says it's about done, they're not 8 weeks, then I expect the court to say, let's do the fine, give him the extra week or 2 to find final completion.
okay, so the court, after the end of the 8 weeks, is going to have the right to come back to set an extended $50 a day fine.
Well, I think I understand what you're saying. The court will determine if the $50 per day, how much of that is going to be done. So if it's 2 weeks past, that's 14 days times 5,
Yeah.
50.
Yeah, but as long as he's been doing this, even if he has to go 8 more weeks, well, what's $2,800?
Well, agree. He is not generating revenue off of it right now.
I understand that,
And-
but it hadn't been, so.
And the court did acknowledge that, what would a municipality rather have on a residential piece of property? A
Yeah.
vacant lot or at least a structure, so that the value of that property is generating more tax revenue versus a vacant one. But yes, Councilman, I recognize it may seem somewhat inconsequential on the 2,800, but he's also not generating rent revenue as well, so.
But I hate to see him come back and appeal it at the end of that 8 weeks too.
If I'm reading the judge right, I don't think she's going to have much sympathy at that
Okay.
point.
She's already seeing a pattern.
Yes.
Any other questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3614 approved. That is the last item on the regular agenda, so we will move to the tentative agenda for November 14th, 2024. We will have a special proclamation and then a milestone awards for October 2024. Then under old business, we'll have ordinance number 1211, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend East Ridge Municipal Code Title 20, Chapter 2, which is chapter is known as the East Ridge Air Pollution Control Ordinance, by removing affirmative defense provisions, providing an incorporation by reference of the most current in various federal regulations, and providing for certain housekeeping provisions. This would be the second and final reading, which was passed earlier tonight. Is any questions, council? I see none. Under new business, a unnumbered ordinance for rezoning of Camping World property, Track 1, 6728 Ringgold Road, rezoned from R3 Apartment District and C1 Tourism District to C2 General Commercial District, and then Track 2, rezoned from C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So this property's been occupied by Camping World for many years, and it's really bizarre because you got two zoning districts in here, R3, which is very unusual for that area, and you have a C1 in there. So Camping World's looking to rezone to C2 to basically make this property legal conforming, because right now with the operation it's legal but non-conforming. And it's also, I'd like to point out that they actually own 4 parcels, 2 in Catoosa County and 2 in Tennessee as well. So this will basically bring their conformity to what is in Catoosa as well as in East Ridge.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, council? See none. Thank you. The next item is unnumbered ordinance budget amendment, first reading. Ms. Walls?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we will have to open back up the federal forfeiture fund. And also, we have received some grants that need to be added. And there may be a few other things. It depends on where we go with the refuse. We will have to amend the sanitation budget for the additional costs. So things like that.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions, council? I see none. The next item is unnumbered resolution approval of Ridgeside contracts for fire and police. Ms. Miller?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. City of East Ridge has had a interlocal agreement with the city of Ridgeside, Tennessee for 8+ years. Provide for police protection services to Ridgeside and fire protection services to Ridgeside. This past year, Ridgeside paid for police services $83,368, and for fire services $37,901. The agreement that we entered into back in June of 2021 provided for a cost of living adjustment to be made in the first 2 fiscal years. That would be fiscal year 22-23 and fiscal year 23-24. However, after that, provided for no cost of living adjustment. Last year, I got with the mayor of Ridgeside, and we put together addendum and addendum to the June 2021 interlocal agreement that provided for a 4% increase starting July 1st of 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Now, why are we doing it 6 months in advance? The reason, because in the original agreement, the agreement automatically renews unless one party issues notice to the other 6 months in advance. So if I came back in January of 2025 and wanted to amend this contract to provide for a cost of living, I'm out of luck. So that's why it's being done now in advance, 6 months in advance. So I'm proposing that the city initiate a similar addendum to the police and fire services that would add a 4% increase for fiscal year that would start July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you, sir. Questions, council? I see none. The next item is the unnumbered resolution approval of advance of state salary supplements for fire and police. Chief and Chief.
Mayor, Council, with the completion of our in-service, we will have 44 officers that will be eligible for the salary supplement that's authorized from the state of Tennessee. Post-commission is advising us that, once again, it's going to be $800 per officer. So that brings our grand total to $35,200 for advancement that then will be paid back to the state after all the training records are turned in.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
This is the same for the fire department, mayor and council, with the exception of the numbers. The fire department has 28 certified firefighters, which is a total of $800 apiece at $22,400.
Thank you, gentlemen. Council, any questions? See none. Thank you all. The next item is an unnumbered resolution, approval of nomination by Councilmember Cagle to fill a term on the East Ridge Beer Board. Councilman Cagle, so notice for that. And then the next item is unnumbered resolution for nomination of Councilmember Tyler to fill an term on the East Ridge Beer Board. So notice for that. And then the next item, is there any discussion on those two? And the next item is the mayor's appointment for the chairman of the East Ridge Beer Board, which is a annual activity that the mayor has to execute. Any questions on that? Yes,
There
sir.
is no restriction in term limits like there is in the library.
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
Any other questions? See none. Then the next item is unnumbered resolution, approval of bids for PD tablets and mounts. Bid opening 10/22/24. Chief Olson.
Yes, this is for the purchase of 10 ruggedized Windows-based tablets with keyboards. Effectively, we're going to start transitioning out of the ruggedized laptops over to the Windows-based tablets. They offer a little bit more functionality. Bids were opened 2 days ago, and we'll have a recommendation on who to use by the time next council meeting comes around.
Thank you, sir. Questions, council?
Is there going to be anything added above these, you know, like connection to the air out there? What I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's actually one of the reasons we're moving over, is because right now we're spending, giving every officer we have a phone where they use that as a Wi-Fi hotspot. For a little bit cheaper through FirstNet, we can get a SIM card that goes in and provides the internet for it. So it'll take the price per down from, I think it's $32 a month, $32 a month down to about $22, $23.
Any other questions, council? See none. The next item that we passed was resolution number 3611, which was the resolution for the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Waste Connections for Tennessee DBA Waste, City Waste LLC for solid waste disposal, transfer station services. That's what you will be working through over the next few weeks before the next meeting. Any questions on that, council?
May
And then-
I
yes,
ask
sir.
something here? Last time I got chastised for it, but I'm going to ask it again. Can we put out bid for the recycle? I know we pay to take our recycle down here, but could we put out bid, maybe could get it a little less than what we're paying now? Because we're paying about as much to,
We can bid it out.
paying
We
them to
do,
accept it.
we've never had a contract on recycling. Diane Qualls, our finance director, gave me some history on this. Back in 2014, we received $7,858. 2015, the city received $3,127. After that, we didn't get anything for recycling. We had to pay to have recycling taken from us. So initially, we started at $35 a ton, and in August of 2021, that price went up to $47.50 per ton.
That was
So-
higher than what we were paying to
That's
haul
what
our
we-
garbage at that time.
At that time, we were paying for garbage was actually
32.
31 or $32, $31.50, $32 a ton, yes. Yeah, we were paying more for recycling.
Yeah, back then we were, but now since the increase, we're gonna be paying basically about the same or add less. But that's the reason why I was interested, in maybe we could,
Well, we've been paying $47.50 since '21. I haven't received any notification that we're gonna go up. If we go up for RFPs, what you end up doing is having to accept the lowest bidder, and it may not be $47.50. So if we go up for RFPs, you could be looking at an increase.
just a thought.
I know. I thought about that too. But until I get a rate notice, if I get a rate notice that says we're going up from $47.50, let's say to $55, I said we would have to go out and seek requests for proposals. But
Good question. This is not an item, but quick question. I think the November 28th, that's actually Thanksgiving. That's not even on our calendar to have a meeting, correct? So we don't need to take any action there. Yep, it's holiday. So, but also council will be thinking about the 26th of December. If we want to cancel that, we can have that on the agenda in the November as well. If you want to consider that today after Christmas. We normally do, but that's council's prerogative.
yeah, our holidays are the Christmas and the day before Christmas.
So we can put this on the agenda to determine if we want to cancel the 26th on the next agenda. Any other business? Any other business we need to just add to the agenda? I see none. Thanks, everyone, for being here tonight. This meeting is adjourned.